The moment it went to my eye for the very first time and I focused it, I realised right there and then, I want to do this. My new way of painting was through that camera. Photography was my answer to extending that creativity. That's probably why now I do a lot of it myself. I'm very hands-on. I don't want to give my artwork to someone else to finish off. As a painter, I never sketched out the lines and then gave the painting to someone else to then colour in. As a cinematographer, a director, I edit all my own work, I grade all my own work. That's why I want to try and take it right to the very end.
There are many firsts with Mark. First time filming in New York. First time filming in Tokyo. First time shooting boat to boat in Whitsundays. Heck, most of the awards I've won were with Mark. Mark was my hero, my brother, my mentor, and my friend.
From the moment I met him, I knew he was the real deal. Mark was like a human camera platform. His ability as a director and DP was exceptional. The composition and the camera movement was always exceptional on every shot. And no matter what the obstacles were, he was never ruffled. With Mark, there was never a problem, just solutions.
It's rare, in the industry where someone becomes your family. The thing that I remember most about him, apart from his Crocs, the thing I remember most about him is that, he had such a big heart. He just gave, and a lot of people came to him for advice, and he was never selfish. So many film directors I know had become successful or improved their craft because of Mark.
His dedication to his craft extends beyond just the camera. He is very generous and eager to share his knowledge and experience with aspiring filmmakers. Mark never hesitated to offer any guidance or support to those who sought it. I'm very thankful to have met Mark. His generosity and mentorship will forever be remembered.
When I think of Mark, I immediately smile. The man lived many, many lives worth of adventures and fun, and I would always get these random calls from him, usually when he was having breakfast, often at odd times from God knows where. And he was always checking on me and my family and always talking to me about his. I will always miss Mark, but he will always bring a smile to my face whenever I think of him.
So Mark told me that during the filming of Monsters and Man, I would get a little crazy at night. The producer came to him and said, "Should I tell David to calm down and dial it in a bit?" And Mark told me he told them, "No, whatever he's doing is what I want him to be doing. He shows up, he does his job, and he's doing great." And when I finally got my act together and started to get a little more responsible, I knew that Mark would accept me for who I was, because he accepted me for whoever I was at the time when I was probably at my worst. I wanted to be better because of that.
What an impact. What a positive impact in my life he's been in the 13, 14 plus years. Some really great moments that we've been able to share. It's not just the time and the memories that he shared with us. It's also the advice that he gave and that he lived by. He was always an encouragement in not having to deal with excess, to cut out the excess that you didn't need. You don't need, all this extra gear that people think you need to have. You don't need a big production house to be successful. You don't have to work with the big studios to get what is most important in life, and that is time with family.
Monsters of Man. The shoot was gritty. It was fun. It was unique. But the thing that stood out above all of that was Mark insisted that his family, that's a package deal. Like, that's the only way it's going to go. You don't get just Mark. You get Mark, you get Carolyn, you get Brooke, you get Jordan, and I dug that about him. I love that about him.
I remember one of our first shoots together when he emailed me the camera order for what was a complex job. I called him asking about the rest of the camera equipment we needed, and his response was pure Mark, straightforward, confident, and visionary. He said, "That's it. The body, put a handle on top and a small monitor. Give me the best lenses. No extra gack." And Mark went out with that minimalist setup and captured the most incredible images I'd ever seen.
I met Mark when I was a junior copywriter and he was directing my first big budget Holden ad. And it was a very CG heavy ad, and I really had to trust what he was telling me because he could see exactly what it would end up looking like, but a lot of it was in his head. And he told me later that he appreciated the way I acted on that shoot because I just shut up and listened to him. We became good mates outside of work, and I think it was because I carried that attitude across to our social life. I just shut up and listened to him. And why wouldn't you, right? Whether it was in the boardroom with clients or on screen or with a drink in his hand, Mark always told the best stories. Mark is an incredible problem solver. He could always see a solution. I could never follow a shot list with him because he'd have shot something over lunch or on the way to the next location or on his phone while he was chatting to you about something else. He was always a step ahead as well when it came to technology. Once asked him to shoot something on film and he said, "Mate, I can give you film. I'll shoot it on digital and then I'll make it look shitter." He was a mentor to me as well as a mate, and he gave me some great advice when I was first starting out. I loved it if he ever paid me a compliment, and I cooked him dinner once and he said that my mashed potatoes were like warm ice cream. And that's the memory of Mark that I'll hold closest to my heart, warm ice cream.
He took a huge chance on me. He was the first one who ever gave me a job as an actor for his film Monsters of Man. And it was on set in Cambodia where I discovered what I wanted to do the rest of my life, which was make films. And that was 100% because of his passion and his discipline and his hard work and his creativity and his leadership. And I know he did that for a lot of us and for really anyone who knew him. And what a fucking dude.
I feel privileged to have been part of Mark's inner team of enablers during the early Zoom days. Toia had a work ethic unlike anything I'd seen before. He approached his filmmaking with a complete disregard for tradition, but it had both tension and tenderness. It was like we were all learning a new language. A particularly fond memory was the day that Mark decided that his editor shouldn't be seen cruising around on a moped scooter. A few calls later, he'd arranged for me to trade up to a super sport Yamaha. And in typical Toia fashion, he took me to the track and taught me how to get my knee down in the corners. As always, once he set his mind on something, he took it all the way. Godspeed, Mr. T. You're one of a kind.
Tristan, it's not you pissing me off, it's Damien and Leon.
Yep.
You hate me.
To her, and she can get it done up.
pretty sure that you're one of the greatest BBC directors in the world. Above all, I need to thank you. You are my great supporter.
I'll never forget the great work that we did together, but most of all, I'll never forget our friendship.
Man, you're obviously an amazing talent. You end up becoming a very dear friend. I love spending time with you.
He's been in our lives since we were nothing. 700 films. Big hits because of him too. For me, he's like my other big brother. One of a kind.
You made the impossible possible. You made the ordinary extraordinary. You were the king of your game. May your legacy live on through your wonderful family, and may the angels in heaven rejoice that the master of cinema has arrived.
I'm the guy that shouldn't have done well. I didn't do it the right way. I've climbed the back of the mountain to the top. I'm Mark Toia, and I love the art of cinematography. I think having sex with goats is alright if no one catches you.
Oh my God.